Hi. I'm a mess today. I forgot absolutely everything that I needed to do. Hi, the two people that are currently here. It's very like, yeah. How's it going? How's it going, Chitra? You okay? Oh God. Howdy, howdy, Callum. How's it going? Oh, that's good to hear, Chitra. And hi, Windwolf. How's it going? I need to go get my glasses, but I got wait. Yeah, no, I'm doing good. Had a bit of a rough day today. Not gonna lie, it's been one of them ones where just kind of everything wasn't how I wanted it to be. But we all have them, and you just kind of get on with it, don't you? So, but other than that, I'm all good. Things are better now. Katie's just gone to the shop to get cat food because we forgot. We were out. We went to a pet shop as well because we wanted to get some shrimp for our fish tank. Um, and then we ended up forgetting cat food for the 3 cats that we already own. So, oops. And yeah, exactly, Callum. Tomorrow is a new day. You can relate to the stuff not going wrong, to everything going wrong, despite like the plans that you had. It's not very fun time, is it? When you like, it's gonna go perfect, and then it goes everything but perfect. I'm gonna just put this on the Discord. By the way, if any of you have messaged me on Instagram or if wondering why I'm very quiet on Instagram at the moment, it's because I got kicked out of my Instagrams, both of them, because I have a personal one and an Instagram one, and a Law of Assumption one. And there's an issue with Instagram login at the moment. So trying to log in just becomes very difficult. Every time I click on the app, it just has a pure white screen, and then trying to get past that is like impossible. So that's why I've been very quiet on Instagram and taking long to get back to anyone if anyone's messaged me. Hi Dev, how's it going? And hello Addy, hello Addy, how's it going? Callum says that happened to me the other week, wouldn't let me log on for days. Yeah, I know, it's a pain in the ass, man. I've had to go through the Google version just to get on, but the Google version is absolutely wank. So I just haven't bothered. Yeah, no, I've been good, thanks, Addy. Yourself? And that's good to hear, Dev. I'm glad you've been great. Glad indeed. I got to put this in the Discord so that people on there can see that we are live right now. I logged my Callum says I logged my accounts out of social media, finding it great for keeping my mental state in check and in the state. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as much as I've been like bored because I haven't been able to access my social medias because I usually only ever use my personal Instagram for memes and my Law of Assumption one just for like posting like new video up now and occasionally responded to DMs and stuff. But yeah, I can't talk again. I found that I've been super bored lately because of it. But then today I just decided that I'd start taking up reading again as a way to get by. And I actually quite enjoyed that, to be fair. Like, it's a lot more satisfying when you've finished like a book or a couple of pages or whatever, as opposed to watching a couple of like really dead memes. But I'm reading, I only really read self help books. I don't really read. Sorry, I had to put that on the Discord. I don't really read any like storybooks or anything. And today I read I'm started reading a book by a swimmer. I can't remember his name, even though I've got the book upstairs. And it's basically like a basically get off your ass and go kind of book. And it was it was basically saying, have cold showers. They're really good for you, yada yada yada. And I immediately jumped into a cold shower. I was like, I'm going to do this, and I got in. And I was just like, why did I do this? um, let's get back to the comments. Addy says, where's your girlfriend? She's just out getting cat food. She should be here within the next half an hour or so. And Nan says, I'm going to watch a horror movie tonight. Any suggestions? It depends on what kind of horror you want. If you want like a genuinely Actually, there's a film on not Instagram, on Netflix. It's called Countdown. I don't usually get like freaked out by horror films, but this one is actually done quite well to the point where it's genuinely quite eerie. And I was watching it, and I usually just sit there like blankly just watching the horror films. But even this one, I was a bit like, so I recommend Countdown if anyone hasn't seen it. It's got like that kind of typical Netflix concept where it's like a really dumb idea for a film, but they actually make this quite decent. So I definitely recommend that one. Cam also says, well, there's a chap who swam around Great Britain. No, it wasn't that one, but he is referenced in this book actually. But no, it wasn't him. He's like an Olympic award winner or something. I'll find it. I think it's not. Is it Tom Daly? No, I don't know. I'll find out and then I'll get Katie to go get the book or something. When she's back. What? Addy says, "Can you please explain some best practices to do SATs?" When you mean best practices, do you mean how to get into SATs the best, or what to do once you're in SATs? I'll answer both anyway, just for the sake of it. Visualization is definitely the best thing to do when you're doing SATs because it's like your mind, your subconscious mind works in pictures. This is why when you affirm, you create pictures. When you script, you create pictures. Even if you aren't intentionally doing it, if you pay attention to yourself, you will notice that you create some image, even if it's not anything vast. Visualization is basically just you just taking a canvas and just going into your subconscious mind. When doing SATs, your conscious mind is kind of out of the way. So it's kind of like think of your conscious mind. And this is a weird example. Think if you've got like a plain canvas here, like a white page, and here you've got like a grid. So you've got like a grid that kind of looks like that. This is your imagination. You're just throwing paint, and it will hit this grid, and then whatever goes through will go through. Kinda. It's not exactly like that, but kind of think of it a little bit like that. When you do SATs, you are kind of just taking away that grid and basically, and here's this full image. And 9 times out of 10, those impressions will happen a lot easier when you're in SATs. And to get into SATs, the term is obviously state akin to sleep. And you pretty much are doing it at all times throughout the not all times throughout the day, sorry. Throughout the day, you will have pockets where you do kind of fall into state akin to sleep. It's where your brainwaves kind of slow down. And I don't remember which one, whether it's beta, gamma, alpha, whatever. I'm not a scientist, but there's a certain brain wavelength that you'll get into that is basically the state akin to sleep. The best way to get yourself into it is essentially just getting yourself nice and comfortable to the point where you could fall asleep and then just let yourself relax, let your thoughts come up and go, deep breathing, focus on the breath, all that kind of stuff. Let your conscious mind just kind of shut down. And then from there, you will be in the state akin to sleep. A lot of people tend to get into it when they're daydreaming. They'll tend to get into that kind of like zone like state, that trance like state where they're just like looking at something. And then in their mind, they're having like this whole like 10-year long journey. And that's the state akin to sleep. And it is basically that it says it in its term, it's the state akin to sleep. It's not sleep, but it's like very closely almost there sort of thing. I know that there was I think it was a scientist who said that he did all of his best like work, or an inventor or something, when he just woken up or something like that. So what he did, he used to like get really comfortable, sat in a chair, and he used to have like a something in his hand, and he would, when he'd fall asleep, his hand would obviously let go of this something, which would crash and wake him up. And because he's just woken up, he's like in that state of like, I'm ready to work, I'm ready to do things. And that's basically how he did it. Hopefully that gives you a good enough explanation. Uh, kind of says Fractured, amazing psychological horror. I think it's still on Netflix. I haven't seen that one. What's it about? Dev says, "Hey Matt, my SP told me that if I spread rumors about her being my girlfriend, she would block me. She called me 2 days saying she doesn't have any grudges, but our connection wouldn't be the same." That's all old story. Like I say, old story. Obviously, it's experiencing now, but that is obviously based on what the 3D move, like pushing that you did, and that's just that's just the reflection of that. What she has said there doesn't mean anything from a law of assumption standpoint. You can absolutely still get her back. You can absolutely have her change her mind about her thoughts on it. I would maybe go about it a little bit different. There are actions that you can take in the 3D to be in the state, but I would never usually go directly into speaking to other people, or unless they are on board with it. Like if you have a manifestation buddy, then obviously sure, you can speak to them about you and your SP as if you're together. But there is a line between in the 3D action that you can take where it's kind of like if you cross this line, usually it doesn't end up going very well. So I would kind of rein in the physical action, just make sure to do the mental work, but don't let what she said be the end all be all. That's just a programming, that's just an assumption, that's just whatever caused her to be like that. And that's how that's playing out. I know for me personally, I've had this where I've only been caught, but I say only, I've been caught doing something that I shouldn't because I assume I'll get caught because of what I'm doing. It'll probably be one of those. You probably had some sort of assumption that if she found out that you were saying that, you were spreading these rumors or whatever, that things would go wrong. And thus, obviously, that's what's happened. But don't let it get in the way, basically. Chitra says, I freaking hate horror movies, but I don't know why I still watch them. It's very addictive. It's for our species love to keep themselves out of harm's way, and yet we seem to love horror movies, which is basically inflicts the same fear and like reaction to the body as if you were in danger. It's very, very strange. And then says, "All righty, thanks. Hopefully, it's not too scary." If you're talking about Countdown, I actually thought it was, and I love horror films. If you're talking about Fractured, I'm not sure because I haven't seen that one yet. Alan says, "How long would inner conversations take to show up in the 3D?" That depends on, firstly, the impression of it. Obviously, we can't ever say how quickly things will manifest, which is the video I did the other day when I put like, can you manifest in 3 days or whatever. We can never actually outright say this is going to be tomorrow, the day after, whatever. But I find, for me personally, just because I'm used to this thing, inner conversations tend to happen quite quickly. However, if you have an inner conversation, but the rest of your day you're saying that something else it's not going to be that way. For example, if you're having an inner conversation about how rich you are, and then the rest of the day you're going, I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke, you will get what you embody the state of having. So having that inner conversation where you're rich, you might embody it for, like, I don't know, 10% of the day. Then if the rest of it you're embodying for the other 90%, then that's your state. That's what you'll get reflected to you. So it all depends on you, really. We can't ever actually say directly when things will show up in the 3D. It all depends on your ability to align with what you're having inner conversations about, as opposed to aligning with the opposite. Random Name says, just daydream and visualizing when you're calm can be a form of SATs. Yeah, absolutely. Addy says, can you tell me your personal success story you got through SATs and what exactly did you do? Okay, so I there's only actually really been one thing that I've, like, actually extensively visualized, because I don't enjoy visualization because I'm very much like a perfectionist. I like things to be perfect, and I can't see the images very well. Now, I know that that doesn't mean that you're not visualizing properly, but for me personally, I want to see the image. The only thing, though, that I have actually ever used visualization while falling asleep, and I suppose at some point falling asleep you'll get into SAT, is getting Katie back. And basically all I did was just lay there, got super comfy. I was on my best friend's air mattress, and it was comfy for sure. And I remember just laying there on my back, and I can't sleep on my back. So if I ever want to do SATs to any extent, because I'll usually do SATs with affirmations instead of visualization, I'll literally just lay it on my back because I cannot fall asleep on it. And I'll just lay there, I'll breathe in, focus on my breath, and basically just do like a mini, like, minute meditation, 2 minutes maybe, where I'm just literally just focusing only on my breath. And then I'll just stop and then try and stay like that for like a couple more seconds, and then I'll bring it to mind. And yeah, Katie was what I got back using visualization um, through, I suppose, SATs. Oh, I've got a really itchy nose. Monica Santos says, I'm here. Howdy, howdy. How's it going? Um, Alan says, I tried to get my manager to ask how my day was going yesterday by using any conversation, and today as well. So far, nothing. Okay, so first off, obviously, I understand that you would need to say, I tried for the sake of this conversation, but stop trying and just start experiencing. You're not doing these things to get something. You're doing these things to experience them. And then when they play out, that is a bonus. You kind of got to get it around in your head, not just you specifically, but people in general, that it's an experience that we have already had. If that makes sense. You're not doing it to see the experience. You're experiencing it here now because we get what we are. So by doing it internally, you are externalizing it. And then also, by saying nothing yet, you are acknowledging that you don't have this, which is, again, you being in the state of not having. You wouldn't be looking for it and then subsequently saying, I don't have it, if you didn't have it. If that makes sense. And as we are only the people that put out our recipe, we don't control the how. Think of it like a restaurant. You put your order in, like the waiter comes up to you, says, would you want yada yada yada, and then it goes. You don't decide when they come back with that food. Sometimes it takes ages and you just want to punch them in the head. Other times it comes just after you finished your starter. Think of it like that. You're putting your order out to the universe restaurant and you don't decide when it comes in. All that you need to do is know that that waiter is coming back with your food at some point. And don't say that it's not happening until you get it. Because saying that it's not happening is not happening, which is your state, which means you won't get it. So just stay true to knowing it's coming in. And we don't decide the when. And because we don't decide the when, we also can't decide that it hasn't worked yet. That makes sense. Just stay true to knowing that it's done. But I need to change the chat to live chat. Oh, please don't tell me I've missed people again. I need to. Why does it automatically put it on top chat? Fucking stupid. I don't think I've missed anyone. Just having a quick scan through. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Dion Tyler says, "Hey Matt, how are you?" I'm very good, thanks. Sergi. How are you? Saw your supercharged affirmations clip. I've done it on and off this week. What I love to be able to do is affirm mentally early morning because my affirmations be. Sorry, I'm gonna have to read that again when I've like shuffled over for. Okay. So we have a supercharged affirmations clip. I've done it off and on this week. What I love to be able to do is affirm mentally early morning because my affirmations be scrambled up. It gets scrambled and jumbled up mentally when I. So I think it either I can't read or it's the wording that's slightly throwing me off there. Hey, I've done it on and off this week. What I love to be able to do is affirm mentally early morning because my affirmations be scrambled up. It gets scrambled and jumbled up mentally when I affirm. Are you asking? Are you just telling me that that's what tends to happen, or are you asking for some advice? My brain can't figure out like what your message is meant to entail. Apologies. If you could just put it back, what it is that you're actually specifically asking for, or if you're just letting me know. Can Callum says, "How's your gym progress going, mate?" It's going good. I'm not going to flex because that's but nah, it's going good. I haven't been going that long. I think 3 or 4 months now. I think. And I found out yesterday because I've never tracked calories. I have before, like in the past, but like recently. And I found out yesterday that I actually eat like next to nothing protein throughout my day. So I kind of just realized I'm basically throwing away gym progress. But it's going good. I mainly just go there to stop myself from killing Katie.
I'm very killable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's mainly for that as opposed to size. But you know.
I'm boiling.
But yeah, no, thanks for asking. Dev says, I'm having trouble living in the end because of 3P fear, even though she told me that she is talking to no one, even though I do do self-concept. Any advice that dream probably fucked me up? Yeah, I mean, I tell people different things on dreams depending on the way that they approach me with the dream message. I think dreams should not be taken into consideration at all. I think if they are good, then it would be good practice to say this is a good dream. This means things are coming. However, dreams are fucked up. Like people have the most random dreams, and sometimes it's very difficult to sit there and say that this is a dream that means this. If it's a good dream, then tell yourself that it's a good reason because obviously we decide everything anyway. So you might as well just tell yourself that it was a good thing. However, people get very hopped up on dreams. It's like angel numbers. People get very caught up on angel numbers, and my opinion on angel numbers is, and this will kind of relate to dreams as well, by accepting that they are a sign, they are also accepting that you don't have your thing because signs, having a sign, like if you're driving down a road and you see 10 miles till London, you're not in London. Otherwise, you wouldn't see a sign saying 10 miles until. Think of signs like that, signs and dreams, as like they're good guidelines, but accepting them to be truth is also accepting that you're not at your destination. So never really give power to dreams unless, if they're a bad dream, give them a meaning that applies good things to you to help you get over it if you aren't able to let go of the dream. If it's a good dream, same thing. If you're hopped up on it, tell yourself that it's a good thing, but don't let it be like the end all be all on either way. But you're saying that you work on a self-concept. There's always more work to be done on self-concept. The third party, they said that they don't exist. So the best thing you can do is trust them on that for now and know that they don't exist because you know that you are the ultimate person for this person. Stay working on your self-concept to get yourself to that point because you wouldn't be scared of a third party unless you believed you weren't worthy enough to be the only person in their life, which means you might be working on it. And that's great. Definitely good that you are working on it, but there's still more work to be done. Otherwise, you wouldn't be worried about it. And taking your attention away from third parties, not only the fear, but also their existence, is what removes them. By applying focus to them and attention to them, you're keeping them in your awareness, thus keeping the fear of them alive. You just remove that and just know that you are the best person that they can ever have or ever would have, and that they're lucky to have you interested in them and vice versa. Or not really vice versa, because that's implied they're on the pedestal, but imply that they're lucky to have your interest and everything. There won't be any third party. There won't be any fear of a third party. You just got to continue to work on you till you get to a point where you know that you are the only person that they want. One second. And then Roy says, "That's okay, Dev. I'd say reading some success stories might help you out, but don't get addicted." Oh yeah, to the above. Yeah, absolutely. Success stories are great, but a lot of the time, and this is why I've been very dubious about posting success stories, is a lot of the time people do take them as, "Oh, I'm going to be the next one," and that's great. But then there's also the other portion of people that say, "Oh, well, how come this person got their thing in like a week, and this person got it in a month, and this person got it here, and then I didn't get it at all?" So success stories, depending on how you perceive them and what you do with them, are very different. Like, you got to be careful.
I think as well you can sort of like damage your own like self by being a bit like doubtful when you hear somebody else doing good. You're like, oh, that could never be me.
Yeah, that's one of the main things that I receive from clients as well, mainly from the clients that come to me immediately with a lot, not drama, that's not really the term I'm looking for, but they come to me and like you can kind of tell where their mentality is at, and usually those
right
ones,
in the middle of the storm.
Yeah,
They haven't had time to process, they haven't had time to literally sit down with their thoughts and stuff. They come right at that height of emotion. And that when you're at that height of emotion, it's very easy to have that why not like sort of mentality. Why not me? Why not this? Why not that? And you question a lot of things, and in that height of emotion you almost envy other people for succeeding, and you sort of get jealous and you get angry and you get like all the negative emotions because you're in the very height of your like shitstorm. Basically you get all those sort of negative feelings, and at that time seeing somebody else doing good can either be like, yeah, that's my drive, or for a lot of people when they're in the height of fear and sadness and all of that shit, it's that, why is everybody else doing good and I'm still here doing shit?
absolutely. And then there's the other side of the coin as well, which is the people that have been doing it for like a year, and they come to me going, "I know, well, people haven't, like people, other people have got it in a day, a week, a month," and you can kind of tell that they've given up. They still want to get their person, or usually it's people, but they've definitely given up putting the work in, and they kind of want that quick fix because they've been waiting so long, which I can understand. Like if I've been manifesting one person for over a year or whatever, then I can understand the mild desperation. But I guess you got to understand, or I say you as if you guys that are doing this, but you got to understand that when you get to that desperation point, if you don't pull yourself out of it, that's where you will stay. So back to the original point, success stories are helpful, but I have a lot of people coming to me saying, "Why don't I have it yet?" When this person has it here, this person has it here. And that's why I've kind of slowed down posting them, because like, although it's great that I get new clients for business, I also don't like the fact that the reason I'm getting new clients is because everyone sees my other videos and then starts to panic that they're not doing it right. I'd rather people see my videos and go, "Oh, this guy could help me," not "This guy helps these other people and I'm not them, so I got to go to him." If that makes sense. I know they're very similar, but I'd rather they came to me because they saw the value that I can offer from my videos, as opposed to I want to be like these other people that got it immediately. If that makes sense. Why is my mum messaging me? Go away. And then, oh, Callum says, "Same with me, Matt. Not the strongest visuals, but my emotional sense of smell and touch are really good." That's cool. So that is cool. I wish I could do that. I don't have a very good sense of smell or touch like in my visualizations at all. I can. It's just
Or in real life.
not anymore. Actually, I did lose my sense of smell for like 6 months or something. But
Good old COVID.
good old COVID. But yeah, no, I can't do any of it. I can't visualize very well. I can't do the sense of smell, touch, whatever. It just doesn't work for me. I can hear. That's about the only thing I can do, which is why I like inner conversations most. Dev says, "I agree." And by the way, how is your manifestation going? Cool. I'll leave them two to chat. Matt Schwartz says, "Hi, howdy, howdy. How's it going?" Dion Tyler says, "So when you're doing inner conversations, you actually hear the person's voice and loop it. Have you ever done inner conversations when you're disappointed or upset?" That's actually probably when I do it the most, because when I use the thing that I put in all of my videos, the asking how would I think, feel, and act. I do the embodying the state more than anything. I will just think from and act from and speak from, feel from. So when I'm finding it particularly tough to, because obviously something's come up, that's when I'll do inner conversations, because I find it easier to talk and hear someone talk to me than to stay in the state, because I'm pissed off and I'm like, this is not going well, yada, yada, yada. So I find it more difficult to bring myself out of that and put myself in this just different feeling, thinking, and acting. Whereas inner conversations, I can just hear the conversation. It doesn't matter whether I'm annoyed or not. I can still hear the conversation quite well. So that's when I'll do it. And yeah, I do just hear their voice and then loop it. And then Roy says it's going good as well. Thanks, you. That's to Dev's question of asking how his manifestation's going. Oh, it skipped. Ooh, don't like it when it does that. Oh, there's a lot of comments. I need to go get my glasses.
Do you want
Windwolf.
me to read?
Yeah, sure. We're on that one.
Do you think it is better to have the same few affirmations, 3 to 4, for example, for each area you are trying to manifest, as to have more of a repetition?
Or you can roll with how many affirmations come as long as they conjure your ideal situation. So I think it's good to have like a basis. I have like, I'd say, yeah, 5's a good number for each category. It's like 5 for money, 5 for SP, 5 for self-concept. However, I don't necessarily like, not that I don't recommend, I don't have a preference. I personally don't stick to the same 5. I have 5 there as like a backup, but okay. Yeah, I have 5 there as like a backup so that like I don't have to think too much. But on the times when I'm like doing affirmation rampage, I would just literally just speak about anything that's in relation to that topic. So it's good to have 5 there that are like regulars if you like them, but you don't have to stick to them if you don't want to. You can like do as many as long as, like you say, they're all as if you're in your desired end. Christy Boo says, I'm not very good at visualizing. Yeah, I think it's probably the most common one that people struggle with. I hear a lot of people say they don't like visualization, which is really strange, isn't it? It's the Rose says, hi, I'm normally just a listener, but would actually need some advice right now. ATM. Got ghosted 6 months ago. He texted last month, and now it's the same again. It's been 3 weeks. Should I message or let go? I'd say let go. Obviously, I don't really know what the situation is. I don't know what you've been doing and stuff. But to get people to reach out, if you want an end result, you have to decide what your end result is. So whether or not you want to be with them, or if you do just want contact, or whatever the end result is, and then live from the end of having that result already experience the text or the relationship or whatever it is, and continue to work out on your self-concept, continue to see yourself as someone worthy of time, of other people's love, so on and so forth. And I never recommend reaching out. The reason being is that, one, if you're in need of reaching out, that more often than not tells me the state that you're in, which more often than not tells me roughly where your manifestation might be. And usually it's not anywhere good. And second of all, you owe it to yourself. If people are going to break up with you, if people are going to, I know it's obviously all a reflection of us and the way that we've been having assumptions and stuff, but we are still experiencing this life. If someone's broken up with you, if someone has ghosted you, if someone has like one and done you, whatever the situation, you owe it to yourself to say, I'm worthy of you chasing me. I'm worthy of you putting the effort in to speak to me. You chose to sleep with me and leave. You chose to break up with me. You chose to ghost me. Whatever it is that like this person's done to you, they chose to do it based on your reflection assumptions, obviously. But as part of your self-concept, you owe it to yourself to say, that's what happened, but I deserve the best and I'm only going to accept it, which is why I never recommend reaching out. No matter how much you love someone, that's the reason why. Obviously, when Katie and I broke up, I didn't reach out. I was just like, no, it's the way things go.
I think when it comes to taking any action during your manifesting journey, I think the thing that you need to think about is what the outcome of your actions could be. We were actually talking about this the other day. If there is no way that your action can cause any negative reaction or any sort of like negative outcome, if like, for example, you're manifesting a better body, going to the gym can only get you to your goal. There's nothing that can like sort of become a negative from it, if that makes sense. Whereas with like things like SP and stuff, reaching out can always go like sort of one of two ways. It can go good or it can go bad. So you have the chance of jeopardizing what you're after. Whereas if you're, I don't know, after a brand new job and you think, oh, I want to apply for that one, applying for it, yes, you might not get it, but you might, like, you get what I'm trying to say?
If it's going to cause problems, basically don't do it. If there's the chance that by going for this action is going to result in something that's going to cause you to spiral or cause you to be pushing too much or cause you to say, I don't have this thing, then don't, basically. With the job aspect, there are certain things that do require something. And some people will say inspired action, yada, yada, yada. If I needed that job, I would apply for it on a whim, which is absolutely true to an extent. However, you can apply for a job and then still get the manifestation if you focus on it, which is exactly what I did for my company that I work for now. I applied for them before I started properly trying to manifest it. I'd already focused on the idea of getting a job and everything. But when I applied for them because they looked cool. And then from there, I was like, actually, no, you know what? I work for this company. I do this, I do that. So you can still do relative action, but you just got to decide whether or not it's potentially jeopardizing or not. And then based on,
if there's like any possibility of it having a negative outcome, just do it.
But going back to like the original like question, I would say focus on the end result, focus on your self-concept and become someone that they would be dying to speak to, and let it go. Don't chase them. Don't do whatever. Be literally just like, fine, you do you, I'll do me, innit? Because you owe it to yourself, basically. Alan said, so should I just set it and declare it, like affirm for it once and forget about it? It depends on your mental state. The only reason that I don't like the set it and forget it kind of mentality is because a lot of the people, especially for specific people, they will set it and then the rest of the day they'll be like, where is it? Why don't I have it? Da, 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 da.
They don't forget it.
Yeah. And because we get what we are, not what we want or what we assume to be true for us, if you're setting one affirmation and then going about the rest of your day of where is it? Why don't I have it? What do I have to do? I'll watch another video. I'll do this, that, and the other. You're not, like Katie says, you're not forgetting it or really declaring it. You're just setting it, forgetting that you've set it and gone back to your normal life. If you are able to, under no circumstances, even think about your desire, whether it's good or bad, then sure, set it and forget it. Because the last thing that has to go on is the state of the wish fulfilled. But none of us will ever be able to do an affirmation and then never think about a thing again. It's just not how it works. This is why I say to set it and then go and do something that you enjoy and forget it until the next time it comes up. When you're doing something, let yourself be occupied. When you're free to like think, make sure you're thinking from the end. Random name says, you don't have to have an inner conversation with your SP only. You can even have imaginary conversations with yourself, a friend, a parent about your manifestation. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'll talk to whoever it is. I've had quite a few of my manager, quite a few. Couple of key. Tan B says, hey Matt, I and SP are in contact now, but it's not consistent and I only initiate conversation. What should I do next? In this instance, I would retract your attention slightly, not obviously fully to the point of like no contact, never speak to you again kind of thing, but I would stop being the one to reach out in this instance. I get really funny when I go over here in the camera. Sorry. I would retract your attention for like the time being, and just again, like I mentioned a minute ago to the other person, focus on yourself being so incredible that they would want to reach out to you. Focus on yourself as being someone so amazing and worthy that they're like, I've got to speak to this person. How you want them to treat you is how you should first off see, or how you want them to treat you and see you is how you should see yourself and internalize how you are treated. So if you want them to be reaching out to you constantly and showering you with like love and affection and see you as like the prize, then you've got to first see yourself as the prize and see yourself as someone who is worthy of attention and being showered with affection, who does get loads of attention and is showered with affection. Your self-concept is basically how the world sees you, or how you see yourself is how the world sees you because of your self-concept. So whatever you want from someone else is the way that you should see yourself first. So that would be my advice. Callum says, been going a year and I'm on 4 cows plus
4K calories.
Oh, 4K cows plus a day now. This metabolism is a nightmare. Bloody hell. That's a lot of calories. I'd fucking actually no, to be fair, I probably don't hit far off that actually. Like I snack a lot. Like I don't have substantial meals.
He is a grazer.
Yeah, and this is why my protein is so low, because I'll snack on fucking little like these things and like little chocolate waffles and shit, and I'll just go through the day on that, and then I'll have like a massive fucking carb heavy dinner. And that's where all the protein comes from. So I get like 40 grams of protein in my day, and then the rest is just like 1,000 grams of 1,000 grams of sugar and fat and sodium. I'm amazed that like I'm slim still. Dev says, I hate this username. Username's Jasmine. I always see her comment on SP video stating to. Oh, I see. I thought you were talking about in this chat. I was about to like lose it again. I hate this username, Jasmine. I always see her comment on SP videos stating to manifest for her. She's been doing this for 1 year and she's now desperate. She really pisses me off. Yeah, oh, you've written more. How the fuck do you have the time to be depressed but not doing the inner work? Even if it takes 30 years, I would live in the end. Yeah, it's just, if you really want something, then you do the work. That's just how it is. Like, it's just I understand having low moments because everyone does. I understand needing even as much as a day. Sometimes, like, I don't recommend it, but even a day, sometimes you can just have a shit day. But these people 9 times out of 10 are having a shit every day and then never pull themselves out of it. And I just don't understand it. And I don't understand commenting and putting everyone else down. There's another person that has commented on my channel quite a lot who I think I've actually blocked now because I kind of got tired of seeing it. And they were very much the same. They were like, oh, it's not here. I've been doing it for this long. I've been doing it for this long. Yada, 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 yada. Where is it? Why don't I have it? And it's like, look at your comment. You're scripting to me that you don't have this thing. And yeah, it winds me up. I try to be very patient as best I can, and I'll respond to every comment, and I'll try. But this person, literally, it had been.
Also, I think it's very important just to add that it's okay to sort of say it once in order to get his help. He's not saying it like, oh, nobody should comment, I don't have my thing, I need help.
Oh yeah.
But it was the continuous, every single video, more than one comment, the same story over and over again, and all he was doing was just putting it out into the world again and again in writing that he did not have his thing. Obviously, because I'm like, I think everybody does it, like, oh, I really wish I had this, and like, or I need help because I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know how to get my thing, and stuff like that. But it's the consistency where like you do it over and over again, but you don't listen to he wasn't listening to the response. He was just again and again putting the same thing and getting, quite similar responses. And I think a lot of you guys actually responded to him as well a few times. Yeah. Like, hey, people just why don't you try this? And then a few people, after a while was like, you are bringing everyone down.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, commenting once, like every now and then, that's not the problem. It's just the way that this person was, and it got to a point where
I think he was even saying stuff like, no one's going to get what they want and stuff like that. And it's like...
And then they started saying that it's ridiculous, it's not healthy to wait a year. And even though like a month ago, they were putting the same thing. And it's just stuff like that. Like that stuff I don't agree with. If you've got to comment with your situation just to get some help because you're actually going to do the work.
Like, don't be scared of like actually putting it in writing to ask for help. That's what I was trying to say.
Basically.
Because I got in that whole... fear circle sort of thing, fear spiral, where I wouldn't even say the things that I needed to do in case I didn't do them, because I get quite anxious and stuff, but I didn't want to say that they hadn't happened because then they wouldn't happen, and I got really like paranoid about it. But yeah, it's okay to say it's not happening, what can I do about it? Like, yeah,
circumstances don't matter. So if you're going to put in the work, you could literally spend an entire month messaging me going, it's not working, as long as you then put in the work. So it's about the work, it's about doing the work. And this person was clearly not doing the work. But Katie does this really funny thing where she refuses to say anything because she doesn't want to affirm it into the world, but then embodies the state by doing so. So she won't say, like, my car sounds a bit funny, but she'll turn the radio down and go, I think it sounds funny, like to herself, like in her head, like the car definitely sounds funny. And I look at her and I'm just like, just because you're not saying it out loud doesn't mean that you're stopping it from happening, because you're like...
The problem is I got really panicky about a certain situation, and then I believe that I made something really bad happen, really bad, and I can't get it out of my head that I did it. And
so when you nearly blew us up?
No, different thing.
Okay.
I did nearly blow us up. My car set on fire when I was driving it. But yeah, no, I got really paranoid. I'm a very paranoid person and a very anxious person, and I have medically assessed anxiety and stuff like that. So when I started to believe that if I said stuff out loud I was gonna bring it I stopped talking.
Yeah, but she'd stop talking, but then she'd like embody the state of it's broken. It's just like, it doesn't quite work that. P. Diddy says, hi, am I supposed to feel anything when trying to manifest my SP bag? I can't feel anything. Like, I feel numb with all my feelings. You're not supposed to feel anything. Or you can feel stuff emotionally, but like emotions isn't what manifests. It's the feeling of it being done is the feeling of this being what you experience. So if you feel numb, as in like literally nothing at all, even fulfillment, then yeah, you got to work on getting yourself to a point where it does feel like you are done. It does feel like it's done for you. But if you're all about like emotions and stuff, then no, like emotions aren't necessary. I wasn't like fucking ecstatic when I got my job. So I just repeated it to myself that I had it until I had it, basically. And I didn't give up, even though they said no to me twice. It's stopping me. No brakes on this
You're
train.
just like, yeah, I have got it.
Yeah.
What do you mean I don't?
Yeah, exactly. Joke's on you. I am the operant power. Dev says, how the fuck do you have time to be? Oh, I had already answered those on it. Jay Dree says, fantastic point she's making. We all need to step back and it takes time to understand a lot of what's happened. You're making good points. Yeah, see? Look at that. She always worries that like she doesn't do good enough in these lives. So thank you very much for that, Jay Dree.
Yeah, thank you. Like the whole anxiety thing, I get really paranoid.
Yeah.
That I said the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm. Callum says, we are all success stories. Let's make out that our success. I can't speak. I know. We're all success stories. Let's make that our self-concept. Absolutely. You're all my bestest pals and doing well. Dion Tyler says, a lot of people say it's best to affirm soon as waking up in the mornings. With me, affirming for multiple things and waking up still sleepy. When I affirm in my mind, my affirmations get scrambled. Oh, this goes back to earlier. For example, I want to affirm I am a master at manifesting, but me either sleepy or not fully coherent. My mind thinks I am a master of McDonald's. Lol. My mind scatters. Have you experienced this? No, I mean, yes and no. So I've kind of got used to it now, but I remember like before when I very first started, it wouldn't get scrambled per se, but I would find it very difficult to remember what my affirmations were. Like in the morning, I'd wake up, what the fuck was it that I wanted again? And it's like, what am I doing this for? Why am I not like getting up and going? I wouldn't get scrambled. Once my brain finally was just like, oh yeah, that's what we're after, then I would remember like what I was supposed to be doing, but not scrambled. But everyone's experience is different. And to be fair, being a master at McDonald's sounds fun.
Mine gets scrambled.
Did I?
Yeah.
I actually do want to do a video about saying things like I'm a master at manifesting, but I'm going to save that for the video. Now you guys have to stay subscribed. Anand Roy says it's a cousin's meetup tonight. It's a cousin's meetup night. I'll catch up with the stream later if I'm able to. Matt, off I go to countdown. See you.
Have fun.
See you, Pep. Bye. Have fun. I hope you shit yourself. It's a scary film. Addy says, is it good to have multiple scenes or a single scene of the desire? Have multiple. The way that I like to do whenever I have multiple scenes, this is mainly for inner conversations, not visualization, but same things can apply for visualization, is I have multiple scenes for different situations. And so, for example, if I was talking to Katie and I'd want us to get back together, I would have a scene for like the actual like love section. I'd have a scene for like us just doing stuff that we would during the day. I'd have a scene for like future plans but showing them together, and I would have different scenes for different scenarios, and I would basically just play them when those kind of areas came up, instead of going, okay, right now I'm thinking about my YouTube hitting 35k, and if Katie and I were broken up, so I'm like, okay, now I'm thinking about that, I'll think of this scene where Katie and I are talking about the hit 35k and being together and yada yada, or which is what I would do. Instead of having like one scene where it's just Katie and I like, I don't know, saying that we love each other, I wouldn't then go, okay, I'm thinking about this thing, which is about my subscribers, and then jump to that. I would try to amalgamate the scene with what I'm thinking with at the time, just because it feels more natural for me to go, I'm thinking about my subscribers. Let's merge this in with Katie. That makes sense. Obviously, you guys probably wouldn't be doing subscriber ones, but you know what I mean. As long as they're all from the end result is basically what I'm getting at. Sage says, hello. Hello, Sage. How's it going?
I haven't seen you in ages in here.
It's been ages, yeah.
It's been ages.
Callum says, would love to hear your take explanation on affirmation rampage, i.e. what is it, how to do it, how does it differ just from doing normal affirmations? So basically affirmation rampage is literally you just continuously just slam out your affirmations in a block of time. So that's what it is. How you do it, you just slam out affirmations. The way that like I used to do affirmation, I mainly do it for my job, literally just take 5 minutes, set a timer, and I would literally just, I work for this company, I earn this much for this company, this is what I do, blah, 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 blah. And I would literally just affirm over and over and over and over and over again. And I would continue, like basically just wouldn't stop until the timer is up. I would literally just hammer out as many affirmations as I could get, all from the end result. And I would say them all with conviction to ensure to myself that I was feeling them real. And I would literally just continue to do so until the timer was up. And the way that it differs, I think it's mainly just a way to get people to do the work. Because if you set like a block of 5 minutes, you've got a slot. As humans, we quite like routine and schedule. So if you give yourself 5 minutes, you're more likely to do it than just generally affirming throughout the day. In terms of effectiveness, I think it depends on the person doing them, because obviously if they don't do anything throughout the day, but then all of a sudden they'll do the affirmations rampage, then obviously it's going to be more effective for them. If you're someone that can just affirm naturally throughout the day and not have to worry about it, then an affirmations rampage isn't really going to make much difference, in my opinion.
I think another sort of point on that is, don't panic if you're thinking of the same ones over and over again. Just say them. Because you've got your 5 minutes and you want to do as many as you can. So I think with like, when you're trying to think of affirmations, sometimes you sit there for a while like trying to think about them. But it doesn't matter if you're doing the same ones, just bam, bam, bam.
And on the other side of that, it doesn't matter if you do different ones. As long as whatever you're saying is from the end result and you're just repeating it to yourself, that's all that matters. Dev says, should I affirm for long distance relationship or in person? What's better in your opinion? I suppose that
I say don't choose. Affirm for your relationship. Let whatever comes in, because you want it as soon as you can have it, and it might only come in as a long distance, or it might come in like a longer time if you're waiting for in person, because they have to wait for the move and la la la. It might happen faster if it's just long distance, or it might even happen faster if it's in person, because whatever, I'd say just affirm for the relationship.
I disagree. Sorry.
I'm leaving. No, I'm going to make a drink.
In my thing, as it is and always will be, is to get clear on your end result. I do agree with what Katie says, is in to just focus on having the relationship. Don't decide either one, because either way, if you can get clear on the kind of relationship you want, then that will happen regardless of whether it's long distance or in person. So she is right in a sense of you don't have to choose, but I would still get clear on what you would want out of your relationship, and then things will happen the way that they need to in order to get you there, basically. If that's long distance, that's long distance. If that is in person, that's in person. And again, Katie is right. When you get clear on your end result and you stick to that as your end result, it will come faster. Whereas if you are choosing one, you are putting a limitation on your relationship, which means if it's long distance, you're basically saying this relationship has to work in this way and in this way only. If it's in person, it has to work in this way and this way only. And that is fine if that is what you want. If your end result is absolutely in person, that is the only way that we're having this relationship, then that's your end result and you should go for it. But if all you want is a relationship, and like you don't really care about this, like the ins and outs, you just want to be with this person, happy, yada yada yada, then just go for that. Don't worry about trying to put limitations on it, because then you're just creating more resistance for yourself by creating the limitations themselves. So she is right in a sense of don't choose, and she is right in a sense of it will get there in the fastest way possible, but that is only if you don't choose, because you're not putting limitations on, for example. So she was, I suppose actually I don't disagree, I just needed to slightly adjust the wording a little bit. It jumped down, so now I gotta go find where I am again. Adhash said, "Sir, my girlfriend left me and she turned very cold. Please help, I'm blocked." And then you say, "I was happy with her." Okay, so girlfriend left, turned very cold and blocked. Without any more about your history, I don't really know what like would have caused this, but the advice is, and as it always would be, get clear on your end result. What is it that you want? Because I'm assuming you want to be back with them. I'm assuming you don't just want to be unblocked. So get clear on what your end result is. Create scenes that imply that that is already the case, and feel into them, feel them to be true to you. Work on your self-concept, because I imagine that now that you've been blocked and they're acting cold and everything, that you are probably feeling quite low and not very worthy. So work on your self-concept and begin to love yourself the way that you wish that they loved you. Stay true to that story and let go of the old story of girlfriend left me, she's cold. See her as a different version. Don't see her as this person who's cold who left you. That's just a short explanation. Dev said, Adhash, how would you feel if she never left you or blocked you? Yeah, pretty much how would you think, feel, and act. Leanne D says, hey, howdy. Leanne D also says, how do you feel right before your biggest manifestations are coming? I kind of just feel like chill. Like they still do take me by surprise in a sense of like, oh, there you go, that's cool. But I don't. I always just feel like whatever. Like some of my biggest manifestations are getting my job. That was one of them. And even though I'd been told no twice, how the way that the third and final interview went, she offered it to me on the spot. And although I'd already known that I was getting it because I didn't give up, I was very surprised that it happened there and then. With my pay rise, for example, um, I work in HR, so I saw my own pay rise come up before it was even actioned. I actioned my own pay rise basically, um, and that was a surprise because we use a system that generates stuff, and I'm not going to say what because I don't know if that's against company policy to say what we use, but we use this system where everything is fed through and yada yada yada, and it came up, and I saw it say what did it say? Compensation change process, and then Matthew Turner. I don't know why I started on my own last name. That was Matthew Turner, and I was like, "What? That's me." And then I clicked on it because I thought maybe it was saying that Matthew Turner had to be the one to action it. And I clicked on it, and it was a compensation change for me. And I was like, "Huh." Even though I had been manifesting a pay rise and everything, and this amount was exactly what within the same thousand number as what I wanted, it was still a shock to me to see that it come through. But I was calm about it. I wasn't like anxious about it. I wasn't even necessarily expecting it. I was kind of just like, this is already my experience. And then when it happened, I was like, that was this conscious side of me that's like, oh shit, there you go. And same thing for Katie when we reconciled and everything. I'm very calm, and then it happens, and I'm shocked. I'm not like anxious. I'm not expecting. I very very rarely like do that thing that people go with. I was expecting to check my phone, and there's only one thing that I ever had that, and that's Pokemon Go. Every time I wanted to manifest a shiny, anytime that I had an egg that was hatching that was going to be shiny, I always expected that one to be shiny, and it was. Whenever I got that feeling of expectance, that one would be shiny. But that is the only thing where I've actually had that. This is it. The rest of all caught me by surprise, and as I've always said, always happen in the most perfect ways possible. Twin says, "Can I still manifest my SP even if I blocked her and everything?" Yeah, you definitely can. That's really funny. I love the way you're like, I blocked her, but I'm going to manifest her. That's amazing. That makes me chuckle. But yeah, no, you can. It doesn't matter who's blocked. The universe will make it happen in some way or another. Connor Chadwick says, "Just joined. I'm glad I have time. Howdy, howdy. How's it going?" Abonere says, "What is Sunday already? What the fuck? No, it's Saturday. We usually do the lives on Saturday. We only do Sunday if I can't do it on Saturday." Doofus. Chris, can you talk about fear of manifesting death to someone, please? As in, like, you've been purposely doing it and now you're scared, or that you're accidentally thinking of someone dying and now that you're scared, or I mean, I'm just gonna go whatever. I mean, ain't gonna happen. Basically, I know that I talk about anything is possible, but I don't believe that manifesting someone else's death is possible. I don't believe that that's just I don't this universe does things out of love more often. Not obviously like in some weird corny way, but the way that things work is like when you come from love and abundance, that's usually when you get things. That's usually when things come in. No one who is desperate ever gets their thing. And if they do, on the very slim chance that someone that is a very desperate person gets their message or whatever, very quickly loses it. Anyone that is desperate for money tends to stay desperate until they leave it. Usually until they change their awareness, sorry. Usually you only get things when you are in abundance of having it, when you have already got to a point where I know this is done because there's enough out there for me. I've already experienced it, yada, yada, yada. You, more often than not, are not going to be able to convince yourself the experience of someone dying. And because it's not an abundant state mindset, the abundance comes from the amount of it that you can receive. That you can't receive a lot of death from one person. And this is a very strange explanation, but that's because this is my view on it. When you're in an abundance mindset, that's when things come in. This is why self-concept is so important, because you are an abundance of love and happiness. This is why self-concept is so important, because you are saying that I get this, is I receive this, yada, 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 because there's a lot out there and that you're worthy of it. I don't think the same rules apply to death, and I don't think that anyone should ever worry about manifesting someone's death. I know that was a very obscure explanation, but hopefully it made sense. So I'm trying to plug my charger in. Okay. But don't worry, you ain't caused it. And the other thing that I said in the last stream, because for some reason it's come up in 2 streams in a row, is if you were to go to court for someone dying and then they were said, we find you guilty, and you said, I used my imagination, it wouldn't hold up. So if it's not going to hold up in 3D court, then you ain't got to worry about it. Goddess Melinda says, y'all are confusing. How so? Please explain. Affiliate Jumpstart says, AOKE, congrats on manifesting chicken wings. I'm tuning in live now. I'm the chicken wings. So you remember a couple of weeks?
Yes, I remember.
Chitra Roy says, whenever I question myself for persisting, I just tell myself that every moment I'm breathing, the universe is taking actions to fulfill my desires. Is it okay to approach this way? Absolutely. If it stops you from spiraling, then by all means. Why do you question yourself though? Just out of curiosity, is it because you feel delusional? Is it because like you don't want that thing anymore? What's the reason behind it? But yeah, no, that is fine to approach it that way. Leandy says, my sister manifested her RSP after a couple of years of it, years of on and off. I consider it as a sign, and I introduced her to the LOA. Although she always told me thoughts create, and she's older than me, so for her, it was easy for her to apply the law. Yeah, I mean, we're always manifesting at all points anyway, but conscious manifestation is a lot harder for most people. It's weird that you can manifest someone in quite easily, and even people back. A lot of the time, people can manifest their exes back before they get involved in LOA. And the reason being is because they're not trying so hard. Because once you learn LOA, you all of a sudden start to try, and you start to have to like, I need to do this to get the person back. Whereas before then, it's very much just like whatever happens, happens. And that kind of mindset is why it happens, because you're focusing on it happening, but you're not hung up on it happening. But no, that's cool for her. And yeah, definitely see it as a sign and just take it as something fun to run with. Sib says, hi, I haven't been on one of these for weeks. Hello. Yeah. Howdy, howdy. Glad to have you back. Alan says, how should I expect it without being desperate? Well, you don't really expect it. You just know that it's done. So it's not like I check my phone and I'm like, this is going to be it. It's not like that. If you're referencing my Pokemon Go thing, it was more of just a feeling of this is it. That was when I expected it to be shiny. I didn't expect it as in like consciously expected it. It was just like a feeling of knowing that this was the one. But it's not so much about expecting, it's just about knowing that it's done and that it's coming and that like you are experiencing this and that you are the person who has this. It's about knowing that it's done and not expecting it. Because expecting it to happen is saying it's not happened yet. So you don't want to expect it. You just want to know that it's done and on its way, but without accepting that it's on its way, if that makes sense. You just know that you've done what you need to do, basically.
It's in motion.
Yeah, basically. Dev says, my friends and family, they piss me off. I told them that I'm going to drop out. I'm still going to be rich without working hard because I trust my infinite intelligence. They think I've gone mental. I mean, fuck, I'm proven wrong. Anyone that ever doubts you, just prove them wrong. Chris says, do affirmation audios can help changing your state? How can you assume a desire? Oh, there's different questions. Okay, so affirmation tapes absolutely can help in changing your state. You're hearing something, and when you hear something, you immediately kind of create the scene of what you're hearing. A lot of the time when people are having conversations, someone will be like, oh, Janet at work did this. And to some extent, your mind will go to Janet at work doing this. So affirmations tape are just basically feeding you things to think of. So they definitely do work on help changing your state. We have a service for that. If you're interested, go check out my website. And then how can you assume your desire being fulfilled? Do you have to expect that it's going to happen? So you assume it being fulfilled by basically experiencing it internally, whether it's through embodying the state, affirmations, visualization, scripting, whatever technique. You just assume it, you experience it internally. And then the expectation, you don't have to expect it to happen. You have to know that it's done. You have to know that your seed has been planted and that your manifestation is yours, that you are going to experience it, and let that be how it goes. You just kind of let it go from there, knowing that your seed's been planted and that it is on its way. I hate it when it jumps so much. It makes me want to punch myself in the head. Sib, thanks. I really appreciate that. You put a little guitar thing. That's really kind of you. It didn't pop up on like the overhead thing.
It normally goes up here, doesn't it?
Yeah, it didn't show up. So if I didn't jolt down by accident, I wouldn't have seen it. But thank you very much. Really appreciate it. That's very kind of you. Now time to find where I was. We have got so many comments today.
Oh no.
Where is it? Okay, it says there. Someone said that we're confusing and still haven't said why. That one. Okay, yeah. So I've answered that one. Ken Clark says, "Oh, lol. How That's how I do affirmations already anyway. Didn't realize I was doing it. I cannot speak.
Affirmations rampage.
Yeah. I mean, that's good then. I mean, you're already on it. Affiliate Jumpstart says, I've recently been doing multiple scenes as well. Every day I do one new inner conversation that implies business, SP, and personal life success. That's cool. How do you find that they're working for you? Do you feel like you're making progress? How's it feel it's going? Callum says, I set 2 to 3 minute timer for each single affirmation and go through a list, 80% self-concept and 20% goals. I keep all my affirmations written on a list on my phone. That's good. I'm glad that you've got like a little plan and routine together. That's what I used to do when I first got into it. I had them all on my phone and stuff. So that's cool. Connor Chadwick says, thank you for the amazing videos. Last night, my tire exploded. I was devastated, but with some manifestation technique I've learned from the videos, it's paid for already, and I didn't have to pay for it. That's great to hear. I couldn't fit it all in one text, so I had to summarize it that way. No, that's cool. I'm glad that the videos have helped out and that you're able to use them. That's really cool. Olivia says, yes, I started mixing scenarios to the other day, like sitting in bed with SP counting money or planning a luxury holiday with each other. That's cool. It's a good way to mix in multiple. Alan says, I think this counts as progress. I don't know. I went from affirming to not feeling like it. So I started typing all my affirmations and now I don't even feel like doing this anymore. Is this a good thing? 9 times out of 10, yes. 9 times out of 10, that is your impression that you already have it. You don't continue to, the best way that I could describe this, if you've just cooked dinner and your dinner is in front of you, you're not going to be interested in cooking dinner, if that makes sense. You're interested then in experiencing what you've cooked. It's the same sort of thing. Slightly different, but you get where I'm going with it. But yeah,
all with the like analogies today.
It's because it's
so
the best.
Many analogies.
It's the best way to do it. Because if I literally just say yeah, it's fine, then people are like, but why is it fine?
Why is it?
Yeah. So I have to kind of give like a rough, or make it up on the spot analogy. Hey, I think I'm pretty. Considering
you should become an analogyist.
An analogyist. Mm-hmm. An analogist. Is that a thing? I don't know.
I feel like that's like analyzing. Analogist.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Sage.
Not that. You shouldn't be that.
Why? I'm well good at analyzing things.
Analyzing.
Sage says, I have been healed a lot now, so I'm making more of an effort to make it to your live streams. Oh, thank you very much. But if you're struggling to, it's absolutely fine. Lovely to see you both. Always catch up on videos, listening to the self-concept affirmations a lot too. Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome.
I'm glad
I made a new one today.
Yeah, that'll be posted. Wait, self-concept? It said self-concept affirmations.
Oh no, it's not a self-concept one. I meant I made like a new one today.
We all heard her say it. Now she has to make it.
Oh, don't worry. I have plans.
There are plans. Speak. Yeah.
I have plans to make many more, but they're going to be short.
Shorts. Yeah. Aranea says, manifesting that I'm getting into the uni I just gave entrance to. Absolutely, definitely going to be there, and you're going to be
already there.
Yeah.
Well done.
You're going to be a success story very soon.
Proud of you.
Dev says, you guys should make SP and SC subliminals. I don't know how to make subliminals. I don't know what goes into them. I'll be honest.
I mean, I guess we could research it, but I feel like there are many already on YouTube, and we've tried a few, and they worked for us. And I feel like the ones that we tried, I can't remember what they are off the top of my head, but as they're already out there and they already work, you guys might as well.
Yeah, the reason why we've stuck to affirmation tapes is purely because we have a voice to go around it. There's only one Katie, whereas you'll be able to find millions of fucking like subliminals. Yeah. So that's why we've stuck to affirmation tapes so far, because we try to advocate what our channel is, and that is obviously me being like the main video person, and then Katie being like the like helpful background, remind me that I'm doing things wrong, affirmations tape person. So like we try to advocate that we're as far as I'm aware, we're one of the very few couple manifestation pages. So that's why we try to get us both involved as best we can.
We will have a look at subliminals, but I can't imagine that they are very easy to make. I feel like they're quite complex.
I have no idea.
It's all to do with like vibrations and stuff, isn't
it? I'm the vibration of money.
How the frequency is going into
something
the brain
like that. Yeah.
I mean, they worked for us, so I'm not doubting them, but how they work, no idea. I think they are placebos more than anything else, but I'm not saying anything rude about people who make subliminals.
I say people
do a great job.
I see things about people all the time. I'm waiting for someone to drop a diss track on me. Sam says, I'm confused as to, should I say I am getting married to this year and his parents approved of us and support us, or should I say I am happily married to and his parents approved?
Married to.
Yeah, I always go for the end as though it's already happened, because you get what you are, what you want.
And throw some like lovely ones in there. Like, I looked the absolute most incredible on my wedding day, and like speak about the wedding day if you want to, you know.
Keep talking, it's fine.
He's eating biscuits. But yeah, like throw like more in there, but yeah, end result.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to read the next one?
Mm-mm.
Okay, Twin says, been working on my self-concept. Good job. Well done. Someone says, I don't know. Sorry, I can't read the name. I don't know.
Real.
Okay, I don't know if this is... I can't read it. You're going to have to read it.
All right, one sec.
Don't eat biscuits on the live then.
I'm hungry.
I don't know if this is a manifest...
All right. Priyal says, I don't know if this is a manifestation story, but I was manifesting a call from someone for fun. I actually saw the person in 3 days only, and next day again crashed into him. But I was manifesting a call. I don't know. Okay, so that could be birds before land. Your mind has soaked in your focus towards this person, because where your focus goes, energy flows. What you focus on will be created in more abundance in your life. So the chances are you have impressed your subconscious mind to the point of this is what I'm focusing on, which is why it keeps showing up to you. But some aspect of the call might not have fed through to the point where it's impressed, or you're still in your bridge of incidents that will create them to call you. You never know. Them bumping into you or you bumping into them might have them now thinking about you, which will have them going, I wonder how they're doing. I'm going to reach out, which will have them calling you. So that might be part of your bridge of incidences, because, and this is why people that say I'm blocked, what do I do? The universe can make it happen. The universe makes people bump into each other. The universe makes people just show up at your house. The universe like has all these different ways to go about things.
He wasn't even in when I showed up.
I was not. You don't need, the conscious mind is what gets in the way, going, oh, it has to be through a call or it has to be through this. Obviously, I wouldn't even advocate manifesting a call in the first place. I would go straight to the end result. But based on what you're saying, you might have bumped into each other, which is going to lead to that call. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean that it's not happening.
Also, just to clarify, I wasn't being rude. I cannot read very well. So
she's not wrong.
I'm dyslexic, so with your name, I just couldn't read it. Oh, not rude or anything.
I think it's Priyal, something like that. Sorry. Hopefully you don't think we're rude for not saying your name properly. Abonez,
like, I'd rather not try and pronounce someone's name than get it wrong. So that's why I was like, someone said.
Now I know not to eat biscuits on stream. Abonez says, you dumb doo-doo. It's almost 1:30 in the midnight for me, so it's technically Sunday here. Doofus you. Oh, I see what I mean. I see what you mean. Well, and then Abonez also said, but no, I'm surprised a week has passed. Yeah, I know. This week went really quick. And it skipped to the bottom again. I fucking hate this stuff. Yeah, this week went really, really fast. Chitra Roy says, I sometimes feel like I'm going crazy. That's why the questions come. And then Abonea, Matt doesn't know your location. And then they're gonna go conversation. I get what you mean, but the thing is faking it is making it. If you're on my channel, if you're on any other channel, if you're involved in the law of assumption, then you are aware that your thoughts create. So pick a side, basically. I understand that to an extent it's difficult to, but you've either got to throw yourself all in it or not. We're always manifesting anyway, so even if you choose not to, you're still going to manifest by accident. But you have to pick one. Don't feel delusional because you know that what you're doing is creating your future, or just let it go, basically. Don't try and stay in the middle, because if you stay in the middle, you're only creating your own resistance, because you're like, why am I doing this because of this, or why am I not doing this because of this? You're trying to live in two stories at once, basically, of sometimes I feel delusional, sometimes I don't. Just pick one and throw yourself at it. What's the worst that can happen? And this is another point that I always try to make with this kind of thing as well, is like, even if law of assumption didn't exist and it didn't work, visualizing yourself experiencing the life that you want to experience is much better than letting your mind run rampant and destroying your self by thinking the wrong kinds of things. So it's better to be delusional than to be realistic and hurt yourself. Callum says, were you two born with such perfect skin, or did you both conscious manifest it? Okay, so
I wear a lot of makeup. I do not have perfect skin.
I have always had decent enough skin, but today today I had a cold shower, and I find that my skin always feels and looks way better after a cold shower. So I didn't actually consciously manifest it, but it's something that I'm aware of, and I still did the cold shower. So I suppose to an extent it would be inspired action. But go have cold showers. They suck, but they're so good for you. Look how floofy my hair is.
Also, I spend a lot of time at the moment telling myself I'm perfect because it makes me feel better.
She does indeed.
Yeah. And saying to him that he thinks that I am absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chitra says to Abonea, Matt don't know your location. Unfortunately, I do. And then Abonea says, nope, I believe that he's hacked into my device and set GPS somewhere here. I'm going to read more of that in a second. Prial says, as astrology absolutely not true when you can legit manifest whatever we want. I don't believe or
Let's
agree.
read our horoscopes.
No, I'm not doing it. I don't agree, nor
Let's
do I
read our
believe in astrology. I don't believe it to be true. If you're the operant power, if you can make anything happen and all of that kind of stuff, then there is no reason why some stars that might already be dead and we're just experiencing the light that's come from them from millions of years ago, there's no reason why they should dictate your behavior. We are both the same star sign, and yet we are the complete opposite people. We are the complete opposite. I don't think
he's logical. I'm fully emotional.
Yeah.
Like just on the off. And then there are so much more.
I have penis, she doesn't. But no, we are completely different in every aspect. She likes, I don't think I like anything she likes, and I don't think she likes anything I like. I think the only thing that we've
One Punch.
Except for One Punch Man. No, except for
like TV shows and stuff.
Occasionally a TV show, but she's shown me some pretty awful fucking films. And like
his film taste is rubbish. He likes like teenage boy films, and that's it.
See? We're completely different, and we're the same star sign.
Delight in all your projects today, Scorpio. You should enjoy a positive mood and a pleasurable experience with others.
Well, today sucks. That's that's not true.
Let the good times roll. Your ego and emotions should be acting harmoniously. You have every reason to smile, so keep grinning from ear to ear.
See how much bullshit that is?
You are able to get a lot accomplished if you so choose. That's what I said. You gotta choose.
Out of the day that we've had
Adjust
today,
your compass and check the prevailing winds.
People are waiting for me to answer their questions.
Set sail.
No, there you go. There's proof. None of me and Katie are Scorpios, and we're completely different. Your star sign doesn't dictate anything. You are the operant power. If you want to believe that they exist, that's absolutely fine. But don't let them be the reason why you don't accomplish things in life. If you crash your car, accept that you crashed your car. Don't say it's because you're an asparagus. Like, it literally just accept that you are the operant power of your life. That's all I'll say about it. And we're not going into the rabbit hole that is astrology like we have done in the past.
Why not?
Because I said no.
Why not?
Because I said no. JRC says, hey fam, howdy.
Hey.
We're going to be logging off soon, unfortunately. So you've only just got here, but
I feel like we should stay for longer.
Yeah, we'll stay for like 15 minutes or so. Abonea says, even if Matt says no, don't believe him. I can't disclose more because I'll be held at gunpoint to the newbies. This is purely a joke. Please don't attack him, but do cancel him. That's mean. Yeah, Abonea, for anyone that is new, Abonea likes to be the stream clown. So I'm going to put her in a timeout. Oh, can I do? Oh, no, I'm not part of my. Can I? Oh, I thought they were middle fingers.
Oh, should we do more? We can make more.
Yeah, we can make more now.
We're going to make more emojis.
Leanne says, I got to realization that if I want to change my state entirely, I have to tackle it from all angles, and then it will all come faster also because I leave my subconscious no choice. What do you think? I used to employ this mentality, actually. I was actually thinking about doing a video on this as well soon, where I review one of my older videos. I knew about the law of sunshine, I knew how it all worked, and my videos all started from what worked for me. Since coaching people, since getting successes, see what works for others and see what works better for me by implying, I'm actually more in the case of less can sometimes be more. It depends on your situation and it depends on you. And obviously your journey should be dictated by what is natural for you. If you like doing it and if it feels natural and if you enjoy it, absolutely attack it from all angles. However, if you find that you're making it a chore and that you're going, I need to do all of these in order to get this thing, then I would actually do a little bit less. I would focus on it when it's natural to do so. So your question here would be more of a personal preference thing of, does it feel natural to script during the day, do affirmations during the day, visualize at night, or whatever route you want to do? Or do you feel like you're putting it on and forcing yourself to do it? If it's forcing yourself, then take it back a step and do what feels natural for you. because we're embodying the state and it's how we live our lives. Essentially, we get what we are. So you want to do it when it's natural, because that's when you would be thinking, feeling, and acting that way. So that one is more of a personal preference sort of thing. Alan says, I was confused because I haven't seen any movement, at least with my eyes. Is that in reference to something else that you said a little while back? Okay, I can't find your previous thingy. How should I expect it without being desperate? And then you then go on to say, I was confused. Hang on, I was confused because I haven't seen any movement with at least with my eyes. Yeah, so things, and this is contrary to my video that I did the other day, but I'll explain why. Things can change in an instant. From starting your desire to getting it might not take long. It might not become quick, but things can change within an instant. One day your person could be one way and the next day could be a completely different way. So when you don't see it, that doesn't mean anything, because literally the next day things can change. So what was his original point? What was the thing that I scrolled up to see? How can I expect without like being desperate? So you don't need to expect it. You just need to know that it's done. You need to stay true to, I've experienced this. This is my experience, and then it will happen. You don't need to see movement to know that it's working, because things can just switch like that. Things can just change in an instant. So that's why you shouldn't really be looking, because the more that you look, the more that you're acknowledging it. The more that you expect, the more that you are saying you don't have it. You just continue to experience it and continue to tell yourself that this is your experience, this is your reality, this is the way that you live, and it will come in its own time. You don't need to see anything with your eyes. I have had manifestations come in where there was no movement. Again, like the pay rise that I mentioned earlier, there was no sign that I was going to be getting that pay rise whatsoever. It just came. And then, same thing with Katie. Complete no contact. And then when we got back together, it was that she just called me. There was nothing. There was no movement whatsoever. She didn't post a story saying, oh, I might have made a mistake, or her friend didn't message me saying, oh, Katie's been talking to us like this. It literally was nothing all of a sudden to what I wanted. So you don't ever have to expect it. You don't ever have to look for it. It will just happen when it happens. Callum says, from my experience, I would differentiate and use subliminals for passive change and overnight listening and regular manifestation techniques for specific goals. That's a good way of doing it. Creating like a little like separation for the two. I like that. JRC says, you guys can do anything. If you're referring to us two, we absolutely can. If you're referring to everyone, you also absolutely can. But so can you.
I thought I was going to have to tie you off then.
No.
I thought you was like, us two, yeah. I thought you was going to be mean to everyone else.
That's not me. Run. Here, Pumpkin. Come here. Come say hi. To you too. Come a bit, fatty. Ooh, this is Ray Ray. This is my favourite. Say hi.
He's very biased towards the cats.
Absolutely. This one's my favourite. But
I don't have a favourite.
Yeah, you
I
do.
have a least favourite.
Okay, that one's true. Avenir says, thank you too. I'm damn flipping short. I'm getting there. That uni is mine and they're welcoming me with open arms. Oh, I jumped. Why did it jump? That jumped really far as well. They're welcoming me with open arms. I aced the interview and I'm getting the acceptance letter. Absolutely, you're already there. And
I've already written it.
Already, it's already signed. It says Abenea without the H. Alan says, oh, my bad. Do you mind checking my message on the website today, please? Oh, did you message me? Oops. I will do that after this. The website's awful, honestly. Well, I would say DM me, but my Instagram's down at the moment. But the website, it doesn't, it's not very consistent. So sometimes I don't even realize that I've got messages and stuff. Windwolf says, what successes have you had with subliminals, if you don't mind me saying? Money ones mostly. We listened to a couple of different ones for money, and then the day after we both got more on our paycheck. Katie made a sale, and I think I got a couple of clients or something. I can't remember. But yeah, money was the main one that we've tried on.
And it was literally the day after.
Yeah. Oh, what's this? Oh, Bailey, thank you. That's really cool. Thank you. Really appreciate that. That's so cool. I haven't got anything cool to send back like that. You can have an emoji. You can have a monkey. Thank you very much, Bailey. We really, really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Let's get back to it. I never know what to say when people put them without like questions or anything, because it's like I want to say thank you, obviously, but then it's like, but now what? I don't want you to think I'm being rude, but we really appreciate that. So thank you very much. Need to find where we were. And then, so Callum says subliminals work by layering thousands of affirmations underneath a mask track, which you cannot consciously hear, but your subconscious mind will perceive and execute. Most free YouTube ones are poorly made. I have no idea how you do that, so I guess I'll have to research on that perspective too.
I'm not recording thousands of affirmations.
There you are.
No.
Too late.
No.
Mafalda says, please share the subliminals that worked for you. I will. What I'll do is I'll put it on a community.
I'm not going to lie. I feel like we just typed in money subliminals and went on the second one down that came up.
I mean, yeah, probably.
And then on the next few nights, we just sort of went through the list. So we went for just like the top ones.
I'll put some links on a couple of them. And then
yeah,
what you guys have to do is then you have to go on to there and in the comments say, follow Law of Assumptions Backdoor. There we go. We'll help each other out. I'll post them in the community tabs after this. If we could start writing questions and stuff for the moment, just let me catch up. And because I've got to go very soon because we haven't eaten again. Because that's just the way that we seem to do things.
That's the way we roll.
Alice says, what is doing the work, your subconscious or the universe? Well, so everyone has their different thing. So subconscious, universe, inner God, any other term, they're all the same thing. It's basically the operant power that creates. I like to use universe because I grew up as a science kid. I never believed in any form of God. I was very much like science and fact and yada, yada, yada. So I like the term universe. Some people like the term God because they like to believe that it's something outside of them, which allows them to, I suppose, let go a little bit. If they believe that it's not them that has to do the work, then they go for it. And some people just like subconscious mind because they like to be like a lot more realistic, I suppose. But it's whatever you want it to be. But it's essentially your inner world. Abner says, if anything, I'd consider Matt rude by all means and cancel him. But Katie, you're precious. You're why? I'm nice.
It's so true, though. I am precious.
Do you want to do the next live stream on your own? That'd be kind of cool. I'll just sit over there.
It won't be anything to do with Law of Assumption, though, guys. Sorry. I'd be like, Matt, come here, quick. I need an answer.
Alan asked Callum how they're poorly made. Bailey says, hi, Bailey. Thanks for the donation. Priyal says, I was in London in uni for my undergrad. Kind of missing London, seeing you both today. Yeah, so we're not too far from London. I actually go to London quite regularly, actually. But why don't you? London. Yeah, my band's in London. Why don't you go back for a bit? What's stopping you?
I don't like London. I think it's gross.
Yeah. It's not just. I mean, it is gross, but.
I cried on the underground because it was scary.
Okay. Callum says.
Also, I stood in sick on the underground.
That is the underground.
Yeah.
It is basically the underground. Callum says, Alan, poor understanding of scripting, poor production, negatively oriented affirmations, i.e. I resist cigarettes, and automated robot voices which do not stimulate neural pathways for human speech. That very extensive answer as to why subliminals suck. I'm actually quite impressed. Affiliate Jumpstart says, I've been doing a lot of hot showers and I find my face gets very flaky and I feel tired afterwards. Also felt it was damaging my hair, so I'll try cold shower. Yeah, so even though hot showers feel nice, they're actually not good for you at all. I've known this for a very long time, but I just choose not to do cold showers a lot of the time because they suck when you're in them.
What about lukewarm showers?
I don't know. Probably be right. But yeah, cold showers, they're really good for your skin. They're really good for your nervous system, I'm pretty sure. Really, really, really good for your hair. Like really like floofifying.
Mm-hmm.
They're really good for a lot of things. I don't think there's any benefits to hot showers ever, other than it just feels nice. But yeah, definitely recommend them. Abonea says, I can relate to this. My SP and I have had the same signs, a total opposite, which I love because he's a cutie and his birthday is coming up in about a couple of weeks. That's cute. Tell him happy birthday for me. Alan says, at Matt Lowell, thank God, because I don't believe in astrology either. And I was questioning if it was related to the law. I mean, there's a side of it that believe that it is. They're the side of it you don't want to watch. Avenir says doofus, and then also says bear.
Blair.
Sam says, how to manifest my car when I'm worried about affording it every month. You would basically just focus on having the money. So this would be, there's two ways that you could go about this. You could either do a money focus or you could do the car's already paid off focus. I usually would go for the car because the money would be the middle because you're focusing on the money to pay for the car. So you might as well go straight to the end. And it would basically, you would just remind yourself that you are able to afford the monthly expenses of your car. You have more than enough money to afford the monthly expenses of your car. The monthly expenses of your car barely even touch the amount of money that you earn in a month, all that kind of stuff. And basically, just don't worry about it. Obviously, to an extent, I know you have to if you're like paying it, but don't let your internal world state that you don't have the money to pay for said car. You want to do the exact opposite. And it says, at Samsung, try not to affirm that you're worried about it or be worried about it. Yeah, just let the fear go. And then Samsung says, thanks, Alan. Went to car dealership and it's coming out to a lot. Well, don't acknowledge that either. Why not say to yourself that the car dealership cost is cheaper than you're expecting? Choose the story. Abonea says, I want to pet Katie. She looks really precious. Leanne says, I'm still testing everything, and if I see movement after doing a certain thing, I keep sticking to it. I'm trying to not obsess over it, however. I'm being honest with myself, and I prefer to put more work that rather than let go. Then if that works for you, then absolutely go for that. It's a natural thing for you. Whatever you feels best, whatever feels more natural, go for it. A good way to let go of it and to not be obsessed is to have other manifestations and have other things going on. When I feel like I'm focusing too much on one thing, I'll focus on something else. So, like, for example, lately, I have been very focused on my YouTube, very focused on like doing the perfect videos. If a video hasn't done very well, I've actually let it get to me a lot more than I probably should have, and stuff like that. And I've realized that I've been putting too much focus in trying to make this YouTube perfect, that I'm going against my own teachings in a sense, because I'm saying that this isn't perfect. I've got to focus on making it perfect, which is then me saying it's not perfect. So what I've done is I've kind of just let it go, did a short earlier, didn't bother like checking up on it or anything like that. I did obviously a couple of times throughout the day due to comments, but I wasn't like avidly watching it to see how it did. I just went to the gym, did my stuff, come home, continued on, and I checked it every now and then, and that was it. I didn't focus and obsess over it, because that's when the obsession comes in. Ebony says, run, run. Oh, I skipped again. Alan says, at some props of purge only lasts as long as you let it, so just declare it's over and see what happens. What's that in relation to? Oh, the dealership. Dev says, I'm going to manifest money so that I can get coaching from you. Okie dokie. That's up to you, buddy. And then any affirmations. So I'm extremely rich. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. I receive money from expected and unexpected places. I am worthy of all the money I receive. I make more money than I spend. I'm so grateful to have so much money. There's just a few. We actually have a UR affirmations tape for money coming out. It's only a short, but coming out very soon. So you'll be able to utilize that. Leanne says, hi, kitty. And then I put a monkey. And then Dev says, or should I affirm I got coaching from you? Again, like I said earlier, obviously go to the end result, but I feel weird telling you to affirm that you got coaching from me. That feels like really strange. Callum, Matt and Katie's free YouTube money subliminals work great though. Thanks. Which I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Callum's a cool person. You also, I forgot to give you a little animal. You get
a panda.
A panda was a panda. You get a panda. Thank you very much, Callum. We really, really appreciate that. It's really kind of you. Bailey says, welcome, just started coaching with you. I'm seeing a lot of movement with my self-concept. That's great. Sorry we're taking so long to get to all the things that you said. Obviously a lot of comments, but yeah, that's great. I'm glad that you're enjoying the coaching. So obviously, like one of my things is that I'm worried that people might not make use of it, which I know is my own limiting belief, but you know, when it's other people's money and lives that like come into play is a lot of pressure. So it's always nice to hear when people give me like feedback that they're enjoying it or like have made use of it. Alan says you technically do with every upload. Yeah, I suppose to an extent you do get coaching from me, and that's just, but it'll be more of like a specific thing. Avner says, Priyal, if you're seeing this, I skipped again. Link where he lives if you ever go there, so I could hunt him down. Why? What did I do? Tidra says, good night, everyone. All right, good night. Have a good sleepies. Avner says, this week I manifest a lot of things. After 26th July, I'm not writing any more entrances. I was going on a rampage of how I get exhausted preparing for stuff and that I'm getting into my brain. 26th July because the date was TBA and I wanted to end this studying something I didn't like once and for all, and that ends soon. to which I get my final entrance date for the 26th. Oh, okay. Well, good luck. Let us know how it goes. I know you're in, so you don't need to let us know how it goes, but let us know how it goes. Okie dokie. So thank you, Sib. Thank you very much, Bailey, and thank you very much, Ken or Callum, for all of your donations. We really, really appreciate the fact that people do donate to us. It really means a lot to us. Thank you everyone else for showing up as well. And we will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.